What's up, Wednesday friends? Today I'm going to share with you a Activpanel tip of using your OneDrive to deliver content. Just like you could do on your computer, you can certainly untether yourself from that desktop, that laptop, and do it all through just the panel itself. So let me show you how that works. Before we begin, I'm going to go ahead and go into the unified menu, and in my locker, I'm going to show you a couple things you're going to need before you get started. So in your Play Store, you're going to look for two apps. Of course, you're going to look for your OneDrive because that's where all your content is. Secondly, you're going to look for the Office app. Why both? Both because Office will open up your Excel, your Word, and your PowerPoint without having to have each separate application. Remember, it's just like your phone. If I wanted to see a PowerPoint on my phone, I have to have the PowerPoint app. Well, Microsoft got a little smart and they said, well, if we just create one app, then it'll open them all. So one app to open them all. So you'll need that Office app there, and you'll need your OneDrive. Now you'll need to sign in to both using your Microsoft credentials. If you don't have a Gmail account for your Play Store, because it is Google and some districts do not use Google, and if you are a Microsoft district, you'll need to make yourself a personal, professional Gmail account. My suggestion is you do maybe your last name dot the initials of your school, mbe@gmail.com, and know that that Gmail account is just for the apps on your Activpanel. You can set up the account quick and easy on your Activpanel or through your Google account on your browser. So we're going to do that right there. So we have that done. Now I'm going to open up my OneDrive. So I'm going to go, it's already open for you. I'm going to go to my OneDrive, and it is opening up my PowerPoint, but let me show you what it looks like when you have your OneDrive open. It's signed in. You've got a couple of features here. Across this left-hand side of your screen, you have your home base. That's where all your recent files are. You have your files. That's everything that you have created in your OneDrive folder. You have your shared with me. Whatever the newest is going to pop up first on the application. You also have a discovery. That's that Delve application. It lets you look across the network to find your content. You have your shared libraries. That is your shared content, maybe like you do in Teams. And then, of course, this last one is all of your stuff, like your profile, your photos, the settings. And, of course, this is where you would sign out right here. Down here at the bottom, there's a little suitcase. That's just going to tell you your organization. So mine's AXI Education Solutions. And I'm able to add an account here. So if I am team teaching with someone, they can also add their account as well. 3 lines at the top, your hamburger. That just shows you another way to get to all of this content here, but in a cute little fancy, got the clouds and everything. So I'm going to hit that home. And because I've been in the recent stuff, I do have that Think with Ink. I'm going to go to PowerPoint first because that's probably where all of our content is in your PowerPoint. So have my PowerPoint pulled up, and I am going to share this through a slideshow. So up here at the top of your screen, you have that little projector screen right there. I'm going to click that, and that's going to start my slideshow. So when I'm ready to annotate, or when I'm ready to mark up my PowerPoint, I will click at the very top and a menu pops down. It has your ink. It has inking tools that also has a drop down that gives you the pen, the highlighter, erase, erase all. Now, in order to engage inking, you would have to click on ink. You'll know it's engaged or it's enabled because it'll highlight orange. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to change it to, I want to do the highlighter tool. Let me get out of that. Let me get in here. I want the highlighter tool. So I'm going to come in here. The lesson is to find the idioms within chapter 7 of Phantom Tollbooth. This is the 5th grade lesson. So we're going to go through this snapshot that I took and put it into my PowerPoint. And we're looking for those idioms. So here's one right here, a light meal. So I might go in there. I might highlight that. Or a square meal, here's a light meal. So I can come through here and highlight all those. And then I can come back to my inking tools. And I can come back into with my students. And I can pretty much write out what that means. So I can write out what that means. And the annotations are going to stay on the PowerPoint. So when I'm ready to go to my next slide, I can just slide over. Now here's an example of a math lesson. This might be your bell ringer, your morning work that your students have to do, or maybe even some homework practice. Same thing at the top. I'm going to go to my tools. I'm going to press the color I need, and then you'll notice, remember, enabled is orange, disabled is not colored in. So I'll do 16 minus 4. I'll write in the answers with my students. Half of 8 is 4. So we'll write in the answers. And remember, it stays right there on your PowerPoint. Very simplistic, much like the annotate tool on your Activpanel in your unified menu. So I am done with my lesson. I'm going to go ahead and end the show. And I'm going to show you what a couple of things that'll pop up. So it'll ask you, do you want to keep your annotations? I have it turned off so that it doesn't auto-save, because if I teach more than one class, I want to make sure that I have a clean copy of my PowerPoint. I can always save this for my students for the hour in which I teach them. So if I say keep, they're all going to pop up. When I come down here, when I come to File, it's going to ask me a couple of things. It's going to ask me how I want to save it. Here's that Save As. So I'm going to Save As. It's going to ask me where to save it. Now down here at the bottom is where I would maybe adjust the title based on the hour. So if this is 3rd hour, I might do Thinking with Ink 3. Because I'm in Save As, and then I'm going to upload it into my OneDrive. So I can do that, upload it into my OneDrive. My copy is still clean from the previous, and then I can put it in the folder that it needs to go in so that I can transfer it to my students. Notice that you do have class notebooks, so you can throw it into their class notebook, and it's a nice annotated PowerPoint for your students. Here's another thing that you can do. Not only can you do PowerPoints, but let's get back to your OneDrive. I'm going to go back to OneDrive because I want to show you that you can also use your PDFs. So if you have PDF documents within your OneDrive, these are nice and easily filled in without any extra annotations, without having to do any extra work. So I'm just going to pull this up right here to this crossword. And now this time, remember up here at the top was where I did all of my inking. It's down here with a PDF. So I'm going to hit that annotate. Once again, very simplistic. You've got a highlighter. You have that pen tool. If I click and hold that pen tool right there, I get this circle here that lets me change the thickness of my pen, and even if I wanted a different color, it shows you the maybe three primary colors we use in education, but you can definitely change it to purple and then come in here ready to write in the answers. So now that annotations are on, I can come in here and 8 down is a king or a queen rules the country. Well, I know that's a monarchy, so I'm going to write right on top of my PDF, and it's going to stay. So when I'm finished with that, I am finished filling out this work with my students. When I am not wanting to ink anymore, I simply click on that pen again. It'll go back even in the tray, and then I can scroll up and keep writing, or down and keep working with my students. When we're finished, I do have this done over here at the top. On the top left, I have done. So now my annotations are filled in on my PDF. If I want to, I can hit the download, but remember, it's going to download onto my Activpanel. But I can hit share down here at the bottom, and I can send it to my students. I can send it to Teams if we have Teams set up with our students and we're using that as our learning management system. Or I can copy the link, give that to my students, and it's going to send a copy. So whatever my students need, they'll have a copy that they can review back when they need it before we move on to the next test, those kind of things. So that's your OneDrive in a nutshell, without being tethered to your computer, without being tethered to a laptop or desktop. You're just using what's available to you through that OneDrive app on your Activpanel. Have fun with it, guys, and good luck. Thanks so much.